Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois.
3-10-0, a little bit better than 2-5-0. Cubs fall to 39-16 as Patrick Corbin gets the best of Jake Arrieta today. Ziegler is 11th save. Cubs got a long ball from Javi Baez, an infield hit from Chris Bryant. Not a whole lot else, and they lose this one today to avoid the series sweep for the Diamondbacks. Hello, welcome into Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. He's Todd Hollandsworth. I'm David Kaplan. All right, let's talk about Patrick Corbin, because for me, he was the star of the game.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it. And that's the thing that's so interesting about Corbin. He's been outstanding on the road this season. Came in with a sub-3 ERA. Had pitched very effectively, very well. Now his ERA at home, almost near 8. I mean, that's just it. Came out, pitched with conviction, stayed down in the zone, expanded the zone, and you saw how liberal that strike zone was all game long. He took full advantage of it. And again, we talk about the ground ball outs. That's really the key to this game. He goes 7 innings and records 15 ground ball outs. That's a lot of action on the infield. Guys behind him made plays, so he was able to make that lead stand up, and that's really what it came down to, Cap.
All right, time for our Elk Grove pitching recap. Patrick Corbin was dealing today. He was dirty. 7 innings, gave up just 2 runs on 5 hits. He struck out 5. What was he doing right today? Because he was really tough.
No, he was effective at the bottom of the zone, and personally, that's where I thought the strike zone was most liberal. There's been a lot of conversation around baseball. You know, the strike zone's going to be raised, but you know, and every now and again, you know, there's an interpretation where the bottom of the strike zone is. You see that pitch tracks right there, and you even see the balls outside of it. If the ball's touching the bottom line, even though the ball appears to be outside the strike zone, that's where it starts to grow, and you really saw it today. You know, yeah, there were some pitches that were off the plate both directions. I thought Jake took advantage of those as well. But Corbin just kept the ball down on a day in which you thought the ball might jump out of the yard. We saw Javi Baez go opposite way, hit a home run to right field. He kept the ball down in the zone, and Cub hitters were getting out in front. And that's really what it is, kind of rolling over, fooled by some of the pitches. That's why you saw so much action to the third baseman. It was basically all of the right-handed hitters in the lineup. 10 ground outs to Jake Land over there at third base.
Okay, now, they won. They pitched better. They did what they had to do to win. But I thought the home plate umpire for both teams was awful today.
Well, it felt like getaway day. And again, you know, I can talk about it as a player. These are certain things that you feel throughout your career. You do it long enough, you start to pick up on it. But getaway day's a different day, Cap, and that's just it. It had the sense. It wasn't just getaway day for the Cubs as they leave town, as the Diamondbacks leave town. The umpires are leaving town, too. And it always seemed to me that sometimes that strike zone got a little bit wider on getaway day. It was almost like everybody had a flight to catch. And you saw a little bit of that today because it was liberal. Again, for both sides. Joe, I mean, I completely get it on the check swing there, no doubt about it. But again, where the strike zone was, it was floating. I saw a lot of looks from both sides back at the home plate umpire like this strike zone seems to be changing. Like, how can I think back to a Ben Zobrist took a first pitch. I think it was his second at bat. The ball was 3, 4, 5 inches off the outside corner. He's like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Absolutely. All right, our UPS store, taking care of business player of the game will be Jake Arrieta for the Cubs. Out of the 15 outs he got, 12 of them by strikeouts. One short of his career high of 13 back in 2014 after he'd come to the Cubs against the Reds. Just wasn't able to manage it without giving up the hits.
Well, is it fair to say maybe too much tilt? I mean, that's just it. And I always wonder this with Jake. I mean, you watch how he expands his strikes. And look at all the action, the late action on all of his pitches. You see the big breaking ball right there. There's his cut fastball. I mean, everything has got so much movement around the strike zone. It did put the Diamondbacks in a position where they were going to be a little bit more aggressive at the front end of some of these at-bats, and that's actually what led to their hits. 8 of them, 8 singles against Jake. You had the double by Tomas, which led to some runs as well, but that's the point. I mean, you watch all of this action. This is what makes him so good, and you see so many frustrated looks on Diamondback hitters and many hitters around the National League because it's not just the velocity that he has, it's the late movement that he has, and he had it working today on all of his pitches.
Now, this was the first loss Arrieta suffered since July 25, 2015, when Cole Hamels no-hit the Cubs in a 5-0 loss, a stretch that spanned 24 starts. It had to come to an end. All good things end. That was the last loss before today.
Well, listen, it's a reflection, not just on how great Jake has been, but how well this Cubs team has been playing. I mean, it's some of the stuff that I was throwing out even in the at the beginning of the game, in the pregame show today, Cap, talking about this team Jake has been as dominant. I think during this stretch, like a 1 ERA? I mean, again, here we are talking about numbers we have never seen before. I'm talking about tilt. There's nothing wrong with Jake. I don't think anybody needs to flinch at this one. They're going to pick up their 40th win here in the next day or so. We know that. This is a really good baseball team. But to me, that's the reflection. It's like going back to last year and looking at this Cubs team last year that won 97 games, picked up their 40th win on June 30th. Cap, it's June 5th, and they're 1 win away. So, I mean, they're playing at an even better clip.
All right, Arrieta ran into some trouble in the second inning. Chris Erman and Chris Owings started off the inning with back-to-back singles, and then Yasmani Tomas does the damage, driving in both runners with a double to right center, putting Arizona on top 2-0. They just, like the first two singles, they are what they are. Tomas is a pretty good hitter.
Well, you get himself in the hitter's counts. Guys looking for pitches out over the plate. I mean, you see where these pitches are. These are the few that didn't have nearly as much tilt. But look, I mean, that's nearly a catch. I mean, I'll give the Diamondbacks certainly credit for using their off-field. They didn't go up there trying to, again, using the, going the other way. That's what this was all about. They just stayed inside of some baseballs that didn't have nearly the same type of tilt. And some of these counts, as you see, were early in the at-bat. So credit where credit is due. I thought the approach there by the Diamondbacks hitters was actually pretty good against Jake Arrieta, but when he needed to find it, he was able to for the most part. But that right there is your big hit of the ballgame.
There's a look at Joe Madden. He wouldn't even be around for the end of this one. Bottom half of the second, we mentioned it in the pregame show, Arrieta could swing the bat. He almost tied this game up with a double to the wall in left center. Michael Bourne just couldn't hang on to it, but it was literally a foot from going out.
Well, he's as strong as they come as far as the pitchers go, and they've got a pitch up in the zone. That's one mistake that Corbin made today at the top of the zone. Bourne probably would tell you I should have caught this baseball, but I know how that Ivy is out there. Sometimes you kind of reach for it, and he does. It comes out of his glove. Hard to tell how close or far you are to the bricks behind the ivy, because that ivy, when it's full, can be, a foot or 2 feet deep. And you kind of see right there, he's got it in his glove, and then he comes down and gets into the ivy, and the ball comes out. So anyway, regardless, still a great swing of the bat there by Jake Arrieta as he starts to help his own cause in the comeback.
All right, bottom of inning number 6, Javier Baez in a 3-1 game on an 0-1 pitch is going to find a way to go the other way. 0-1 pitch, say goodbye.
Well, to me, this is kind of a reflection where I said at the beginning, and again, the Cubs offense has been good this year. This isn't being hard on the guys, but again, the approach, when you got 10 ground foul outs to the third baseman from one pitcher, he is in a routine, and the hitters aren't making nearly the same adjustments that they need to be making. As I said, this is getaway day. But this right here, what did Javi Baez do? Kept his hands inside the baseball. Corbin was exposing the outside part of the plate, staying down, does get one pitch up, but he goes to his off-field and drives it out the other way. Great piece of hitting there. I think if you would have been able to pair that with a few more at-bats like that, the outcome might have been a little different.
All right, Joe Madden was sent to the showers in the 7th inning. On a 3-2 pitch, Paul Goldschmidt looks like he goes around on strike 3. It said he is awarded first base on a walk. Madden doesn't like it, and he gets shown the door. Take a look.
Well, I've lived this one too many times, right? Who's the hitter, Cap?
Paul Goldschmidt.
Well, you think that probably didn't have a little to do with it. It certainly felt like it did. Yeah, this is the situation, right? First base umpire, he's right-handed. He's down there. They hang out together. It's Paul Goldschmidt, one of the best players in the game. And I always believe that, your better hitters, your better players in the game, your elite players, I would say, always sometimes, get a few calls here or there. You get one right there. I absolutely believe he went around, and Joe does as well. It could have been a big moment in the game. It didn't turn into a big moment, but Joe gets the boot.
Yeah, with some colorful language. He was fun to watch on this. He was going to get his money's worth at this point. And he is going to let the first base umpire have it. He says, that is a full blanking hack.
Well, it is. The funny thing about it is, the interpretation of what a swing is nowadays, and, there's just so many variables to this. If you go back and you look at the Goldschmidt swing, I mean, his hands, he gets so far out in front of home plate. Yeah, if you remember, Cap, even back in the day, and I'm sure you did this in the backyard with your buddies, breaking your wrist, right? Like you didn't roll your wrist over. He doesn't break his wrists on the swing. It's just that they led so far out of the strike zone forward, but that's his swing naturally. So you'd think that, that he technically really never swings because he was trying to stay inside the baseball right there. And what you saw was his hands right here. Did he break his wrist? No, he didn't. But how far out in front of home plate were they? Right. He went around. He went after that pitch. He just didn't turn him over.
All right, time to hear from Joe Madden in our Xfinity post-game press conference.
This one had a strange feel to it all day, didn't it?
Well, we were just talking in there. Bourne set the tone for them with that leadoff at bat. I think it was a 10-pitch at bat because Jake had great stuff. anytime they put the ball in play, it found an opening, and that give them credit. They worked really good at bats. Our pitchers, what did we strike out? 18 guys or something like that during the course of the game. We had great stuff. Their pitcher was good. We just kept pounding balls to third base. It was almost like hitting fungos to third the whole game. However, we had a chance to win the game at the end. That's all you could ever ask for there, too. There's no quit in our group. Their pitcher was very good today. So was ours.
So do you hand over the lineup card before you even go toward the umpire, or do you already...
You know, that was kind of like one of those real on the cusp kind of things, because I really thought he swung. I mean, I don't think there was any question about it, even from behind him. And my biggest concern there was how to use the bullpen. I explained that to him. I said, you just did. You really made it difficult to use the bullpen for the rest of the game by not doing the right thing by calling him out. Because then Grimmer could have started the next inning, and then you didn't have to, just one hitter, and then you have to get him out. All this stuff happened because that check swing was not called. And that's the part of the game that, listen, happens to everybody, but I'm just saying that's the part of the game that, when it comes to strategy, that really messed up the bullpen. As it turned out, it didn't really matter in a sense, but I was really upset based on two things. The fact that I really thought he swung absolutely, and then on top of that, I was thinking about the bullpen.
You didn't tell him you lost him?
No, I don't. Tripp's a good dude, but I'm not there yet with him. Haven't known him long enough.
It's Jake's first loss of a decision since July 25th. It's a pretty remarkable run, almost 11 calendar runs.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Listen, he again, his stuff was electric today. Every time they put a ball in play, it found a hole. Like I said, good for them. But his stuff, would he have 12 punch and 1 walk in 5? They work good at bats. They saw a lot of pitches. They foul pitches off. They took pitches out of the zone. They give them credit for working good at bats today.
Was there any thought of letting Jake go a little longer today?
No. That was five tough innings, 107 pitches. That's about as far as you want to take it.
Was the thought process to have it just not to use a bench player then? When you hit before it was about in the fifth?
No, I like Jake, actually, but I saw him start him off with the breaking ball, and then I thought he's going to continue to do that, so I thought the bunt was a better play with 2 righties coming up. I was good with that. Just pick up a run right there. I'd have been very, very happy with that, getting because it's not easy to bunt Miggy to second base. It's just not. I mean, you got to put the ball in a perfect spot. Actually, I think Corbin had a chance to throw him out, and you saw Jake's first at bat. He's the guy that almost did hit the home run. So there's just a whole bunch of things going on there. I did not want to go to the bench yet. Confidence in Jake, and then I like the bunt.
Overall, you got to be pretty pleased with the homestand.
I'm not upset. That's the thing. I mean, I like the fact that we're upset that we lost. I love that. None of the guys accept that. But 8-2 homestand, I think we'll take that for the rest of the summer.
You mentioned it a couple of times. Every time they put the ball in play, it found a hole. But it's got to be confounding. You put 10 balls in play and 9 were hits.
It's just, again, that's the nature. Like yesterday, they hit a bullet, a couple line drives right at our second baseman, outs. That's the freaky part about this game. That's what makes it so wonderful. Hard contact's not rewarded. Soft contact is on certain days. It works both ways. It's not just happening against us. We've had the same good fortune. Just happened to be that way. Cool. See you guys. Thanks.
All right, there you go, Joe Madden. So you could tell he was none too pleased. And I didn't hear the question. It's hard to hear the question sometimes. Somebody asked him something about Chip Hanlon. He said, yeah, he's a good dude. I'm not there with him yet.
Right, I didn't know him well enough. Right, yeah. That's part of it. Certainly, you make your ways around. Managers know each other. Joe's been doing this an awful long time. But again, you get back to the competitive nature of this team. This team had a chance to win this ball game. I talked about it yesterday, and Jason Hamill early. Managing the deficit, and that's it. I gave a lot of credit to the bullpen today. Again, as we talked about, this is getaway day. This is a successful homestand, no matter which way you look at it. Even with the loss today, I think the story here is just the oddities that happened in this ball game with Arrieta racking up the strikeouts with those. What was it? 9 of the 10 balls that were put in play falling for base hits. I mean, just crazy stuff happening, but still this team having a chance to win this game late, giving themselves an opportunity to the Rizzo walk where the one swing of the bat could change this game. That's who this team is, and that's what you take away from today.
All right, time for a break here on Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. We will hear from Jake Arrieta and go over the lineups when we come back.
Cubs Postgame Live is presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all.
Make sure he's in bed by 8. Sometimes I get scared.
Scared of what, Danny?
The things I can't see.
Got a weird feeling. Almost forgot. In case anything happens.
Dad, I got this.
Copa America Centenario. 4 incredible matches at Soldier Field. Get your tickets at ca2016.com.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you.
Call Adolescent Growth today and see how our proven treatment programs for eating disorders can begin to bring the sunshine back in the life of your teen and your family.
Please don't take my sunshine away.
This is more than golf. This is an exclusive PGA Tour experience. The Memorial Tournament, presented by Nationwide on DirecTV. Enjoy up to 4 screens of exciting coverage on one channel, with live championship action from the most challenging holes and interactive leaderboards and scorecards. Don't just watch the PGA Tour, experience it. The Memorial Tournament presented by Nationwide starts June 4th, starting on Channel 701.
Diamondbacks beat the Cubs 3-2 your final as Patrick Corbin improves to 3-5. Jake Arrieta falls to 9-1. Ziegler his 11th save, home run in the ballgame for Javi Baez, his 4th. Here's Jake Arrieta with the Penn and Mike Club at Wrigley.
First batter set that one, huh?
Yeah, made some good pitches to him, good long at bat, and you know they had a pretty good approach. They made me show that I had the ability to throw strikes or get in the strike zone early, with the intent to, you know, get in some hitter-friendly counts. Pitch count got up. It was just a strange day overall. Everything they put in play seemed to be a base hit. You know, the double to Tomas was 96 with some sink off the plate in that he did a good job of keeping his hands in and putting a good swing on it. So just a strange day all the way around.
Stuff-wise, where would you say? I mean, look off the charts. Stuff-wise, where do you go?
Yeah, it was good. You know, they strung 3 hits together, I think, in a row in the second or third, and that's it's one of the things you deal with in this game sometimes is things like that. A day where a ton of strikeouts. And then the batting average with balls in play today was high, extremely high. Just a weird day.
Lost streaks come to an end at some point, but this was pretty remarkable what you've done over almost 11 calendar months. How do you look at that?
Well, it was a good run. Over the course of, you know, a half a season last year or so, and pretty good stretch this year. So get something new started. You know, we I think our last 10 or 11 games were 9-2, something like that. So, you know, to lose a 1-run game with a chance to sweep, it's tough, but you know, we're playing really well, and we've got a stretch ahead of us on the road with the ability to put quite a few more wins together and come back home and have some fun again at Wrigley. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. Jake Arrieta and his custom-made John Lester-sponsored warm-up. They're all wearing Cubs warm-ups with their nicknames on the back.
I love the fact this team has a lot of fun together. It really does. I mean, it resonates when you watch them play, when they pull for each other, when you watch, how when you come up with all the reasons why they win. I mean, it really is. People don't really know how to value that, and you hear me talk about it. I mean, I played for 12 years on a lot of different teams, as you always kid me about. But, I mean, the chemistry that this group really has, they enjoy playing well together. They enjoy playing together and pulling for each other. They cheer for each other. It's not one of those where, well, I'm doing good now, and so I'll be your best, your biggest fan. I mean, you just get the sense that they enjoy this. So, as I heard him say in there, I thought was kind of interesting. All good things come to an end eventually. And, today was that day where, the balls seemed to fall against him. All the balls that were put in play fell for hits. He did rack up the strikeouts, but I look around baseball right now. We talk about aces an awful lot. There's been some really bad blow-ups. Like, things have come to an end. Like, he didn't go out there today and go 2 innings and, just give up 9 beat around the yard where you're like, something's off or something's wrong. I mean, even when Jake is having a game in which 9 of 10, balls put in play fall for base hits, he strikes out 12 and he gives his team a chance to win a baseball game.
All right, there you go. Let's check out our Honda winning box score. And this one belongs to the Diamondbacks. Michael Bourne, 1 for 5 at his first at bat of the game. I think it was 10 or 11 pitches. Huge key in driving up Jake's pitch count early. You got Goldschmidt, 1 for 3, but he did get an RBI. That proved to be the difference because it was a 2-1 game and he made it a 3-1 game. And then Herman and Owings had a couple of knocks apiece, but not a ton of damage.
Well, you go back to the 2nd inning and the 5th inning, Cap, and I tell you, one of the toughest things to do, and I guess it probably makes sense that we talk about it in a day in which the streak ends for Jake Arrieta, that they were able to string 3 hits in a row together, 2 different innings. I mean, you just don't see that against Jake Arrieta. I'd say that's one of his greatest assets is, usually when you score, maybe there's a walk in there or a walk leads to a run or something happens, but typically in the game of baseball, especially at the major league level, very difficult to string 3 hits together in a row, especially against the Jake Arrieta, and you saw it happen twice in this ballgame.
All right, here's what the Cubs did. The only guys to get to Corbin were Arrieta and Baez. Dexter, an 0 for 4. Zobrist, an 0 for 3. He's in a bit of a mini slump. Chris Bryant, a 1 for 4. Hustled out an infield hit. Soler, an 0 for Javi, the home run, his number 4 of the season. And then you got nothing out of Addison Russell. Caesar, a 1 for 3, an early single in the game. Miggy Montero, a single, and Jake had the double that nearly left the yard.
Yeah, not a lot to talk about. I'll go back to the Baez home run. Certainly was a big moment in watching, letting that ball travel. I guess, the first thing that I thought was great swing of the bat. Why doesn't he do that more often? We know that Baez loves to get the barrel out and kind of wants to get around some balls occasionally. But it was just such a great swing of the bat, and it was such a great in-game adjustment. You heard me talk about how many ground balls were hit to the third baseman today, right? We talked about it, Corbin. 15 ground ball outs. Well, this is a situation. Yeah, this ball's up a little bit, but that's a deliberate act on Baez. You watch it in slow motion. Watch his hands pull him through and stay through the baseball. He did not roll over there. See, he didn't even roll over at all. He just kept his hands right on through and thought that was an outstanding approach against a tough pitcher today in Corbin, who had most of the Cubs hitters out in front and rolling over pitches.
All right, time now for our 4 seasons heating, air conditioning, and plumbing. Who's hot and who's not so hot in day games this season? Who's hot? How about Matt Duffy? 325, 2 home runs, and 9 knocked in from the Giants. Who's not? Brutal. Brian Dozier, $163 with 15 Ks and an awful 596 OPS for a team with the worst record in baseball, the Minnesota Twins. All right, time for one more timeout. We'll preview tomorrow's starters. Go over Holly's Keys next on Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois.
Pizza is perfect. Pizza with bacon cheeseburger on it, way, way more perfect.
Papa's Bacon Cheeseburger Pizza is back. And try our new Mushroom Swiss Burger Pizza. Just $10 each for a large.
PapaJohns.com.
What would we be without our mountains? Without the things that stand in our way, that make us better. At Coors, our mountain is brewing the world's most refreshing beer. Lagered, filtered, and packaged cold. Our mountains make us who we are. Your mountains make you who you are. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
What if one day everything just stopped going wrong?
Have a good day,
No more accidents. No more disasters. Where would State Farm be? Here to help with college. Here for that first car. and here for new beginnings. Because in a world where nothing went wrong, your State Farm agent will still be right here, helping make life go completely right.
Yeah, not us.
Nah, no reruns here.
Yeah, we have X1 from Xfinity.
I think we'll just stick with our TV shows.
Don't fall for DirecTV. Get 4 times more TV shows and movies on demand with Xfinity. Sign up today or get started with this great offer. Call or go online today.
Family Foundation and the Bono family have teamed up to knock cancer out of the park. Order your Italian beef the Rizzo way, and Bono will donate to my charity. I'm proud to be working with the Cubs and the Bono family, 2 Chicago originals.
Order it the Rizzo way at your local Bono restaurant.
Cubs fans, show your team pride with Cubs checking and an official Cubs MasterCard debit card available only at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Member FDIC. Ollie's got one of those debit cards. Let's look back at Todd's keys to the pregame show, sponsored by Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Man, I was pumped for these keys today, but it was just such an odd game. My goodness. All right, thinking ahead. Listen, I gave you the numbers. I wish we would have had a little bit more to back it up. Listen, we're thinking ahead, talking about going up against Patrick Corbin. Early count aggressiveness. I thought we might see a little bit of that today. There were certainly some numbers that played into that. First pitch hitters were hitting 395, 1-0, 387, 1-1, 370. There were some good numbers there, but Corbin was on his game. There were a couple. I mean, Baez's moment, that was early in the count as well, so I think it was an 0-1 pitch. But the point was, Corbin was down where he needed to be in the zone and certainly expanded the strike zone better with time. Now, Corbin definitely did this only because the Cubs didn't make good on getting more things done against him early in the ballgame. That's one thing that stood out to me. High batting average, his 0 through 50th pitch in the ballgame, 50 through 100. Corbin really starts to bear down. In fact, 76 through 100. He got up to 92 today, 159 batting average again. So the longer he's out there, the better he does. And you saw some of that today. Infield D. Goldie and Lamb. Goldie came up with the RBI single there. Lamb, they control. They did a nice job against Lamb today. He had 4 strikeouts.
After he homered yesterday.
Yeah, after he homered yesterday, Golden Sombrero. But again, you talk about how their lineup typically works. Those 2 guys have to be contained.
Well, let's check out the pitching matchup for tomorrow's game in Philly. John Lester against Adam Morgan. Morgan has got a bloated ERA, a lot less innings than John, and you look at the high K to walk ratio, 10 walks. Lester has 69 punch-outs and a whip really good at 102.
Well, it is definitely a favorable matchup, no doubt about it. John Lester pitching as well as I've seen him throughout his career, having another fantastic good season here with the Cubs. With that being said, Adam Morgan has had a rough go of it, doesn't have much, and I just mean that not disrespectfully. It's just that his stuff is very traditional, 90, 91 on the fastball. He's got a good curveball, but again, he's got to get to it. If Cubs hitters are ready for the fastball, they're going to do damage against him. John knows what he needs to do going into this one, pick up the 40th win for this Cubs team. I expect him to be on his game.
All right, 39-16. They're going to put on their custom warm-up suits. They're going to get on the team plane, maybe have a glass of wine and go, all right, let's go back to work tomorrow. What is the mindset of the team? You've been there. I haven't. When you get on a plane after going, we should have swept this team.
Well, I don't think that you overreact to it. I mean, this team's in a great rhythm right now. And again, I'm not sure that they necessarily overreact to the wins or even to the 8-2 homestand. I don't think that they feel better about themselves. This is the level that they've played at all season long. There have been some, I don't want to say individual, but for the team, some moments. Like coming off the last road trip, I thought, everybody around here, Cubs fans, we all were a little like, well, what's up with this team? Went to Milwaukee. Milwaukee played very well against them. Tough loss, a couple of tough losses in San Francisco. So this team comes home. I thought that they made a statement in St. Louis, but they made an even bigger statement on the homestand. They went 8-2. So, I mean, that's what you're looking at. People are watching this team. They're 23 games over 500 right now, Cap. I mean, I don't think that there's too much to complain about, too much to worry about. I would almost take it back to even Joe Madden answering the question about Jake Arrieta staying in after 107 pitches. Why? We're 23 games over 500.
What are you trying to prove there?
Exactly the point, right. I mean, are we going for records here? Are we trying to accomplish something? Listen, this team has not hit very many ruts, and that's just it. There have been, these little bumps in the road, barely, but this team's played at an incredible level, and they continue to show why they're the best team in baseball.
All right, you'll get that game tomorrow right here on Comcast Sportsnet, and then you'll have Postgame live tomorrow night. Luke will be here tomorrow night with you. So Cubs and the Fightin' Phils, game 1 of a 3-game set. Off day Thursday, then off to Atlanta, then Washington. 9-game trip, and then they roll back home to Wrigley. Thanks for watching Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. You have a great week, everybody. We'll see you.
From the first building block to the last coat of paint, Menards is here to help. Get an 11% rebate on everything in the store, including great Father's Day gifts. Choose from a great selection of gas and charcoal grills. Kick back in a new zero-gravity chair. Go camping. Or get Dad the latest new power tool. Plus, get an 11% rebate on everything, even sale prices. Now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Thank you. Ordering Chinese food is a very predictable experience. I order B14, I get B14. No surprises. Buying business internet, on the other hand, can be a roller coaster white-knuckle thrill ride. You're promised one speed, but do you consistently get it? You do with Comcast Business. It's reliable, just like Kung Pao fish. Thank you, Pink.
Reliably fast internet starts at $59.95 a month. Comcast Business, built for bit.
It's a whole new ball game with MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV.
It is magic.
Experience the ultimate season ticket, now at a new lower price.
Unbelievable.
Every punch-out, every rundown,
What a play.
and every walk-off, all at your fingertips. And with MLB.TV included, you can watch nearly 100 live games a week on over 400 supported devices. Don't miss a minute of the action. Follow your favorite team on any screen with MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV. Order now.
Why jump out of a perfectly good airplane? Why not? Chicagoland Skydiving Center was voted the best in the U.S. with a perfect safety record, a one-of-a-kind environment, and round-trip shuttle service from downtown Chicago. Come experience the greatest adventure in the area. Chicagoland Skydiving Center in Rochelle. Visit us at perfectlygoodairplanes.com.
This is the HPT.
Sit right down, put on your poker face. You with the big dogs now. Better bring your best game. Talk trash all you want. To me, it's all the same. You won't leave with much when you come in second place. And I'm the one with the stack showing 7 to the jack. Gonna cry to your mama, cause I'm sending you back. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. Last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HPT. I'm James Larson, and this week we're here at the Ameristar Casino Hotel in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Where's my co-host, you ask? Well, believe it or not, after his 5th try, Robert Williamson III finally made an HPT final table. So I'm thinking to myself, who's going to co-host with me? I decided to bring in a ringer, the legend himself, Craig Casino, all-time money leader, as well as a 2-time HPT champ. My friend, welcome to the show.
Hi, James. Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
Before we get started, do you have a prediction on tonight's final table?
I think we're just going to have a great night of poker. I think we're going to see our local amateur players do really well, and we have 2 professionals here, Robert III, of course, and Chan Pelton, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun tonight.
So with no further ado, let's go ahead and meet our final 9 players, and most importantly, take a look at the prize pool. Take a look at the prize pool up top, $42,560. Second place, not too shabby, $26,417. Chip counts look like that. Skyler up top, Judge Leo Booth right behind him. And our guy, Robert Williamson III, third in chips for Robert Williamson III. The last time he had this many chips, Craig, he had a bowl of guacamole in front of him. We wish him the best of luck here at this nationally televised final table as we broadcast from the Ameristar Casino Hotel Vicksburg. We're giving away cash, and we're having a whole lot of fun. Blinds are 4,000, 8,000 with a 1,000 chip ante. It's time to play some poker, Craig Casino.
Yes, sir. Let's see what comes out.
Nice to have you in the broadcast booth with us this week.
Appreciate the opportunity to be here. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Pocket tens there for Clay.
Not a bad hand to look at for the first hand of the tournament.
These players just starting to get to know each other. What's that like when you first sit down at a table, Craig? You're probably a little nervous. You got the lights, you got the cameras.
Yeah, the first time for these guys, they're obviously going to be a little bit nervous, but once you make one lap on the table, they'll be fine. They'll be into the game at that point.
Robert Williamson, no stranger to final tables. This guy's got all kinds of experience. He's going to make the call with ace-queen. He looks good. So Clay now all in for his tournament life, going up against Robert and the ace-queen.
Robert was ready for that, and he'll be more than happy to call, I'm sure.
Clay told us he has a very blessed life. Everything happens for a reason. He was very happy he made it to this nationally televised HPT final table. Why wouldn't you be happy? We're on TV playing for a whole lot of cash.
Not bad for a weekend's work.
With ace-queen going up against the pocket tens. We'll see if Robert Williamson can eliminate somebody. Robert makes the call. The flop is Jack, Trey, 2, all hearts.
That helps Robert quite a bit. He's got a lot of outs coming up here.
Robert's always very friendly at the table. He's always smiling, always joking around. He's always got these Texas quotes that he says. He's kind of a knucklehead of sorts, but you know, we love him. Turn card now is the 9 of clubs, so the pocket tens for Clay are still good.
No help for Robert.
Robert's looking for an ace, a queen, or a heart here.
And the river card is the deuce of clubs.
Good hand for Clay. That's kind of what you hope for when you get to the final table short stacked. You're looking for that early double up. You don't want to be the first one leaving the table and your first opportunity on television.
Before the river came out, he said deuce coming. He did. I heard him. Give this one up,
bro. A little bit of table talk. That's good to see. Everybody's loosening up a little bit. Clay's going to double up through our very own Robert Williamson here on the first hand of the night. So glad everybody joined us tonight here on the HPT.
It's a good group of guys. They look like they're having fun out there, and they'll loosen up more and more as the night progresses.
2-0 with the tens. Yeah.
The action continues here on the HPT as we broadcast from the Ameristar Casino Hotel Vicksburg. James Larson alongside Craig, the Legend Casino. So glad you joined us tonight right here on the HPT. Action is folded around to LB. Looks down at Queen Jack of clubs.
Nice hand. I always like to see Queen Jack suited.
LB's a contract welder. He's from Mississippi, plays mostly cash. Doesn't live too far away. And really looking forward to playing with Robert Williamson III. Not many people tell me that, Craig. I'm not going to lie to you. He's excited to play with Robbie.
You're going to give Robert a hard time the whole episode, I can tell, and you should.
He's got it coming. Action there to Judge Leo Booth with pocket fours. He's going to make the call.
Judge Leo calls with the fours, which is acceptable. I mean, you're sitting there wanting to flop that set, of course.
Yes, Chan makes the call from the small blind. Skyler checks his options. So 4 players going to the flop. And the flop is Queen Jack 6. So a great flop for LB. Skyler caught a piece of that with the queen.
Chan is first to act, and
Chan's going to be first. He checks. He caught a 6 there.
LB's got visions of sugar plums dancing in his head right now with that hand out there. We have 3 different suits also, so he doesn't have to worry about a flush.
LB bets 55,000. Leo gets out of the way with his pocket fours.
As does Chan. Action back over to Skyler.
Chan's going to fold his hand.
Out of the way, yeah.
So now action over to Skyler. 55,000 for him to make this call, and kind of in a tough position here. Small blind, big blind. Catches that queen, and
he is, but that 3 kicker is going to bother him. I know he's thinking about that. You can see it in his face.
Skyler is our chip leader. Skyler lives in Houston. He's a professional gambler.
60, 70, 78. All right, I'm all in.
An all-in and a call, ladies and gentlemen. And Skyler is going to see the bad news here.
That's just a bad break.
Skyler does show Queen of Diamonds, 3 of Diamonds.
Skyler's smiling there, but he knows he's in a whole lot of trouble as LB flops top 2 pair, Queens and Jacks. We go to the turn card. It's the 8 of Hearts.
No help there.
And that's going to do it as Skyler is drawing dead. LB's going to win that pot. A double up for him. The river card is the ace of clubs, so that is going to do it. LB's going to double up through the chip leader and now has 307,000 in chips. We'll be right back as we broadcast from Vicksburg, Mississippi with more of the Heartland Poker Tour right after this. Heartland Poker Tour has awarded more money in Colorado than any other state. More than $15 million over the years. We'll add to that total when we return to Golden Gates Casino in July for a special $1,100 main event. Hundreds will make their way up the mountain to play with HPT and Blackhawk. Only one can walk away with the cash and the bracelet. Be the next to join the ranks of Poker Glory at Golden Gates Casino this July. For all the information, check out hptpoker.com.
CBS All Access gives you more ways to watch CBS shows than any other source. Stream live TV, past and current seasons, and new episodes the day after they air. So start browsing, because CBS is now available across all your favorite devices and streaming platforms. Go to cbs.com/stream and use promo code YourShows to get 2 weeks free. Go to cbs.com/stream and use promo code YourShows to get 2 weeks free.
In every battle, there's the hero, the guy who wins riches beyond anyone's wildest dreams. Then there's everybody else. Which one are you? Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Live out loud.
This is River City, the best city in St. Louis.
You really need to get this car painted.
The distress look is in.
Uh-oh. Better get Mako. For a limited time, Mako's lowest priced paint surface is on sale for only $2.99. Mako, America's body shop.
His trip to Mars is only one way.
He is the most interesting man in the world.
Adios, amigo. Stay thirsty, my friend.
We're back along the mighty Mississippi River right here at the Ameristar Casino in beautiful Vicksburg, Mississippi. Skyler's still on top of the chip counts. Judge Leo Booth right behind him. And before play began, we had a chance to speak with David about his strategy at the final table.
I am going to be aggressive, no fear of busting out. If I have a good hand, I'm willing to go for it. I'd like to finish first. I've been 4th, 6th, 5th, 2nd in other events. Never won a big event like this, so I'm just aiming for first.
Blinds are 4,000, 8,000. Our very own Robert Williamson is in seat number 1, so I'm joined in the booth here with multiple HPT, casher, champion. You've got quite the resume. Craig Casino.
Well, thank you. David, I like his attitude toward the final table. I'm playing for first or not at all. That's the way it should be.
Up top, over $42,000 in cash as we broadcast right here from the Ameristar Casino Hotel Vicksburg.
Chan folds, Skyler folds.
Action over now to the 9 seat of Clay Henry. Again, everybody's smiling. Everybody's getting along. This is a Mississippi thing, right? Everybody's pretty cool down here.
Well, I hope so. They'll probably be smiling a lot more if they end up in first place at the end of this thing, but we'll see how that goes.
Robert looks down at pocket 7s.
Love having a pocket pair, and I like the fact fact that Robert raised with the pocket pair. A lot of people just float that and just put in the call and hope to flop the set. But this way, by doing that, if an ace or a king hits the board, he could represent the ace or the king, because when you open up in that position early, the other players are looking for you to have high cards most of the time.
It's folded around now to Judge Leo. He's going to make the call, defend with his 5 tray in the big blind. The judge recently resigned. He's retired, rather, and now he's practicing law. The flop is 7-5-4, couple of diamonds.
Big flop for Robert. He's happy right now. Always good to see that set come in, but the board is a little bit scary.
Robert finally made an HPT final table. I always gave him a hard time. When are you going to make an HPT final table? Well, he finally did. His 5th event, hoping to take this thing down. He was so excited last night when we chatted. Robert bets 16,000. Action over to Leo.
Leo raises. That's a strong move. It's a strong move on his part.
Leo's going to raise to 66,000. Robert loves every second of this. Let me tell you that, Craig.
Well, with Robert knows also, though, with Leo in the big blind, there's a good chance, better chance than usual, that he has a 6 in his hand. He knows he may have an open-ended straight going here. So Robert re-raises, which is the proper play.
He's going to re-raise now to 166,000. That should be enough to get the judge out of the way.
Judge Leo folds.
And the winner of the hand is Robert Williamson III. He rakes in a pot worth over $250,000 chips. We asked Ron, who's the short stack and might have the best beard in poker, how he was going to approach this final table.
I'm the shortest stack that's going to be starting today, and I'll be starting in the big blind as well. So I'm going to have to get some cards and get lucky early on, or it's going to be a short day for me.
I love that beard, Craig. Now, you're no stranger to the HPT final table. What's your advice to Ron?
I just tell Ron to ramp it up. He's going to have to find an opportunity to put those chips in the middle, and if he gets the right hand, he's going to want to do it. This may be the right hand for him right here. Unfortunately, he's in an early position, and there's still 7 or 8 players behind him that will, most likely, somebody will make that call.
So Ron is all in here with his queen jack. Action folded around to the judge.
62,000.
And Judge Leo looks down at ace queen, so probably going to see a call here from him.
That's a crushing hand for Ron to see when those cards come up on the table.
So Leo makes the call, folded around now to the 9 seat of Clay. Clay gets out of the way, as does Robert and Elby. So we're going to flip over the cards, and Ron is going to see the bad news. Right now he is behind. Ace queen going up against queen jack. Ron is at risk for his tournament life here, hoping to double up and keep his tournament hopes alive. Flop is jack, 9 tray, couple of clubs.
Ron's going to be happy to see that. I mean, you don't really expect that all that often when you're sitting there with just 1 card to hit, but he hit it.
And the turn card is the 7 of clubs.
Well, that gives Judge Leo another opportunity here, because a club or an ace is what he's looking for on the river.
5 clubs to beat Ron's jack high of clubs. So any club here, any ace, and Judge will take the pot.
So we go to the river card. It's the 6 of clubs, and just like that, the Judge Leo's going to win the hand with his flush, and that's going to do it for Ron.
Enjoyed it, gentlemen.
Ron did a great job, very gracious, shaking hands with everybody.
And Ron is going to leave us in 9th place, taking home just over $4,000 in cash. And his beard. Can't forget that.
That's quite a beard, I'll say.
Good luck to y'all. Enjoyed it, gentlemen.
Ron enjoyed it. Yes, sir. Good game, sir. That's a very admirable beard.
I like that, Craig.
The beard is getting respect with the player. That's perfect.
That's awesome. So with that, we're down to 8 players with the blinds still at 4,000, 8,000. It's James Larson and Craig Casino. If you're wondering why Craig Casino's in the booth, because my partner in crime, Robert Williamson, is in the 1 seat. Chan looks down at pocket 8s.
Chan is an aggressive player. I've played with him a couple times. He knows the game really well, and you can expect him to play any 2 cards at any time.
Chan is from College Station, Texas. He's going to raise it up to 18,000. Action folded around now to Elby. He picks up a pocket pair, pocket trays.
Elby will probably just call here.
Elby got into this event for just $375. We have not one, not two, but three players that got into this main event and made the final table that got in on a satellite for $375. You got to love it when you hear stories like that.
It's the beauty of the Heartland, that's for sure.
Action now on David in the big blind. He's going to defend with his queen 9 of hearts. So three-way action as we go to the flop.
Nice hand to see a flop with that queen 9 of hearts.
And the flop, all hearts, Jack 5 tray, Yahtzee there for David.
Okay, I was talking about visions of sugar plums dancing in someone's head earlier. They're really dancing here. The odds of flopping a flush are 118 to 1 roughly. So when you're sitting there holding 2 to the same suit, you're not going to see that too often.
So the bet is $21,000 by David. Now Elby, who flopped a set, has a decision to make.
Chan makes a disciplined fold right there. With only one over card on the board to his 8s.
Action over to Elby, who's got a decision to make here. As he flopped a set, he's going to make the call.
Heads up. Heads up.
Elby's hoping that board pairs for sure.
Now we go to the turn card,
does.
and just like that, the 5 of clubs comes on the turn.
That's what crushes you in poker, though. I mean, you flop that hand, and then by the turn, you're already losing.
And now David is all in. This will be a snap call here for Elby. He's got a full house, trays full of 5s, and David's going to see the bad news.
David, and we have pocket 3s from Elby.
Dave is standing up. He's drawing absolutely dead. That's going to do it for him. He's going to be eliminated in 8th place after we see this last card here on the river. Just bad luck there for David as he flops a flush, but his opponent flopped a set.
It is, and you go through such a range of emotions when that happens. You know, you're as happy as you can be with that first 3 cards hit the board, and then that next one shows up. Boom.
The river card is the ace of diamonds, so that's the bad news for David. He's going to be eliminated, going out in 8th place, but he'll go home with just over $5,000. And we'll be right back with more HPT from Vicksburg, Mississippi, right after this. Southern poker players, how would you like to play under the bright lights of a nationally televised final table? You can do just that when HPT returns to Mississippi this summer. Ameristar Vicksburg will play home to all the poker action you can handle July 29th through August 10th. Come out and take a shot at a big payday on the national stage with Heartland Poker Tour. Buy-ins at Ameristar Vicksburg will start as low as $40. For a full schedule and exclusive hotel rates, head on over to hptpoker.com. Thunder Valley Casino Resort has quickly become a favorite tour stop for many of the HPT faithful. We are proud to announce that the 2016 Championship Open will take place at this beautiful Northern California resort. The series will feature our first ever $2,500 main event. The nationally televised event is expected to draw a massive prize pool. Join us at Thunder Valley October 13th through the 24th. All the details at hptpoker.com.
To make it in Chicago, there's one thing you better be ready to do. Step up. Step up to the plate. Step up for your teammates. The Sox and our fans are cast from the same die. We get knocked down, then get back up. We dust ourselves off, tighten up our grip, and dig in. We give no quarter. We give every ounce. We win or die trying. It's time to step up.
Quiet on the set. Pick 73. What? It's a Saving big is no laughing matter at the Bob Roman Auto Group. Over 7,000 new and used cars online at bobrorman.com.
There's only one Bob Roman.
Every night, get ready for the most dynamic show in Chicago. Your city, your teams, your show. This is Sportsnet Central, every night at midnight, presented by CLR. Sportsnet Central, tonight after Postgame Live.
Welcome back to the HPT. I'm James Larson, joined by my special co-host tonight, Craig Casino. My regular co-host is actually still at the final table, Robert Williamson III.
He sure is, James, and he's staying pretty patient. He's looking for his spots, and I'm sure he'll make a move when he needs to.
We're having a lot of fun this week in Mississippi. Let's head back to the table and pick up the action. It's always fun to take a look at the prize pool. Up top, $42,560. Right now, every player guaranteed 7th place money, almost $7,000. Judge Leo leading the pack. Right behind him, Skyler, Chan, and Elby. And our buddy, Robert Williamson III there. Third to last, but never count out Robert Williamson III. He's a good poker player, isn't he, Craig?
He sure is. He's got one World Series of Poker bracelet, 2 seconds and a third. That's not easy to do.
Blinds are now up to 5,000 and 10,000. Action is on Elby. Elby's a contract welder. Got into this event for $375. Has a lot of respect for Robert Williamson III, and he better because he's sitting very close to him there in the 2 seat.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Chan's going to now raise to $25,000 with his King Jack of clubs.
We have a raise of $45,000 from Chan.
Now action on Robert. Looks down at King 10 of hearts. He's in the big blind, so he's going to defend there.
Not a good situation for Robert unless a few hearts hit that board.
We go to the flop. It's 8-7-5, couple of clubs.
That helps Chan quite a bit.
Yeah, Chan with the club draw there. Robert just on a bluff here. He's reaching for chips. He's going to bet out $30,000.
Against Chan, you've got to keep firing because he's a professional. He'll make a lot of calls, especially now. Got 2 overs to the board with a club flush draw.
Chan does make the call. We go to the turn card now. It's the deuce of diamonds. So Robert, again, just on a bluff here. We'll see if he can keep firing at this pot. And it looks like I think he will. He's reaching for chips now.
He looks solid. He's very methodical in what he's doing. Chan might believe he's got something here, but we'll see what happens. Chan's not going anywhere, though, with 2 overs and a flush draw.
Robert's 44 years old. Obviously, the most experience here at this final table has to go to Robbie. He's going to bet $60,000. And it looks like Chan's going to make the call. Robert would love to have this hand over right on this street, but it's not going to happen as Chan does make the call.
Yeah, Robert probably would have had to bet something like $120,000 to get Chan to even think about folding, and he probably still wouldn't have.
River card now is the ace of spades, so how much should Robert bet here on the river, Craig?
Well, you got $242,000 in the pot. Well, it doesn't matter, I guess. He checks, and I would have given up there, too. I mean, when somebody calls 2 streets like that on you, and it's Chan, and you know he's capable of playing any of those low cards, sometimes you just have to know when to call it a day.
Flush draw to chase, huh? Nice.
Straight's good.
That is straight up, don't beat you in the pot, you know that.
So Chan bets 105,000 chips.
Chan thinks he's bluffing right here. Little does he realize that he's actually got the best hand, and he won't know it till he sees this on TV down the road.
And Robert is going to fold, and Chan is going to pick up a pot.
Sure, the 9-10. The 9-10? No, 9-10. Better. Jack 9? Jack 9. Warmer.
We asked Chan about what it's like to square off against seasoned poker professional Robert Williamson III, and here's what he had to say.
Yeah, Robert and I, we played a few hands. At the beginning of day 1, we were at the same table. As the tournament went on, he kind of had some chips and went back down, and he was at the other table the whole time, and I knew he was super short, and then we got to the final table, and he had 500K, so I didn't know. I mean, he ran it up one way or the other. Yeah.
Blinds are still 5,000, 10,000 as the action continues here from the Ameristar Casino Hotel Vicksburg. James Larson alongside my buddy, Mr. Craig, the Legend Casino.
Yes, sir.
One of these days, you got to tell me why they call you the Legend. We'll get into that later.
Larry folds 10-Jack there. I love 10-Jack. Most players do. You can make a lot of hands with it, but he doesn't have the chip stack, in all fairness, to be making that play right now.
Chan with his Jack 10 is going to raise to 21,000, and now Skyler, our chip leader, picks up a pocket pair of 3s, 2 red 3s. He's going to make the call.
Chan does have the chips to make that call, and plus he's 2 spots later on the table than Larry was. Elby's going to get to play cheap here and probably make the call.
Elby in the big blind. Makes the call.
Just like last night.
And he's going to defend. So it's Chan, Skyler, and Elby as we go to the flop. The flop is 5-5-4, a couple of clubs. Doesn't really hit anyone. Skyler still leads, but LB actually has a better chance to win the hand right now.
It's a good flop for LB if he hits a deuce, but he's not going to want to see it be the deuce of clubs, preferably.
Chan's going to bet $31,000 with his Jack-10. Chan's got a little bit of gamble in him, doesn't he,
Yeah,
Craig?
the ever-aggressive Chan, but he's a professional player. He knows that's the name of the game. Aggression is what wins tournaments.
So Skyler makes the call. Action to LB now. LB needs a deuce for a straight. He's got the ace in his hand. You think he's going to fold this hand here, Craig?
Yeah, but it'd be a good move to put in a raise right here, I'll tell you, especially against Chan.
That's what you would do.
That's how you have to play Chan.
What would Craig Casino do? Well, he'd put in a raise. LB's just going to make the call. Down here in Mississippi, it's a friendly game, Craig.
Yeah, I know, but got to do what you got to do sometimes.
So now we go to the turn card.
Skyler has no outs.
10 of spades on the turn.
Turn card is the 10 of spades.
Chan's pretty happy with that card right now, although he does have to be a little concerned that one of the later position players, LB in the big blind, could have a 5 in his hand, but he's going to bet out to find out.
Chan's in the lead with his 2 pair, 10s and 5s. The bet is $75,000.
Skyler knows the jig is up. He'll be leaving the hand, I'm pretty sure.
Smiles a little bit. And he's going to fold his hand. Now action over to LB.
Too expensive to chase a gut shot.
As does LB.
God, he saved you.
Chan will take down the pot.
Stop it. Hey, I mean, I have a big hand.
I have a bigger hand.
Show me.
Huh?
Show me. Show me for $100 if you beat my hand. I'll give you $100.
All right.
Nice. Are you too?
As Chan collects his $100, we will pause for a quick break. More from Vicksburg when we return. Heartland Poker Tour has awarded more money in Colorado than any other state. More than $15 million over the years. We'll add to that total when we return to Golden Gates Casino in July for a special $1,100 main event. Hundreds will make their way up the mountain to play with HPT in Blackhawk. Only one can walk away with the cash and the bracelet. Be the next to join the ranks of Poker Glory at Golden Gates Casino this July. For all the information, check out hptpoker.com.
In every battle, there's the hero, the guy who wins riches beyond anyone's wildest dreams. Then there's everybody else. Which one are you? Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Live out loud.
Show her you remember. The Jewelry Exchange has thousands of anniversary bands. Compare Tiffany's 1-carat bands for $7,300 with ours for $1,890. Half-carat bands are $249. 2-carat micro pavé $799. The Jewelry Exchange, family owned.
Hello, steak.
They can take the car in the next 5 minutes. Otherwise, it's going to be a week. I'll be right there.
Taking care of your car shouldn't take over your life. With Meineke, save time and schedule your appointment online. Come in now for a basic oil change for just $19.95. Meineke, on with life.